Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Rabbana amanna faghfir lana warhamna anta khairur rahimin. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmah innaka antal wahhab. Rabbi yasir ولا توسر وتمم بالخير ربنا زدنا علما أجمعين إن شاء الله ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Brothers and sisters, this is Ustad Asif Mehrali class for Sunday, September 8th, 2024. My name is Nisar Shaikh, and inshallah today we will be facilitating grammatically analysis of a new surah, Surah Abasa, surah number 80 in the Quranic sequence. And inshallah, this is the session 1. Brother and sister, as I mention all the time, or mention in the beginning of our introduction, that unlike most other classes in our class, we analyze each ayah both grammatically and morphologically, assign the meaning to each word and then to the ayah, and finally compare our translation with the work of the scholars, our ustads. Our hope is one day that with the grace and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will be able to look at any ayah of the Musaf and will not only understand it, but also be able to feel its beauty, depth of the message, depth and the eloquence of the message deep inside our heart. Inshallah. Allahumma antajal Qur'ana Rabiya Kalbina Manura Sadri. But before we proceed with the analysis, I would like to re-emphasize or reiterate that I'm not a alim or not even a teacher, but merely a student of the Quran who spends many, many hours per week to prepare the notes for you guys from a number of Arab books you can see on your screen and dictionaries from our scholars so that it saves you a lot of time and make it easy for you to study. So on the screen, I have shown you the name of the scholars along with the page numbers of their respective Arab books for easy reference for our advanced colleagues. But mostly, inshallah, we will be following Dr. Suleiman Yaqut. Dr. Suleiman Yaqut. But as you know, wherever some additional information is warranted, and I think this may be the case today, I will add additional information from other scholars, as you can see on the screen. For the surf purposes, that is, for the vocabulary or conjugation of the words in each ayah, I have consulted a number of dictionaries, mostly the Quranic ones, such as Barilla Badawi, known as a double D dictionary from our Ustad, Dictionary of John Penrice, Nadawi, Dr. Lutfur Rahman, and my dear colleague and Ustad, Brother Zahid Naeem notes. But I also consult sometimes a very detailed but a general dictionary of Hezbollah. I then, for your convenience, write the original and conjugation of each word right on the page of the ayah. This, in my opinion, will help us to translate the ayah easily and understand it easily. And it will save a lot of time for looking for all of you in the different dictionaries or the books. Of course, brother and sister, I'm just a student. I'm a human being. I can make mistakes. So first of all, I seek forgiveness in advance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then from you all. If I make any mistakes, particularly in the pronunciation of the Arabic words, which I have some physical impediment. May Allah forgive me for that. And I seek forgiveness from you all and humbly request you all, rather encourage you to help me correct these mistakes. On the screen right now, you can see now my email address, excuse me, which is very specific for this class, so that in this way I can respond to your query, your corrections, your questions quickly and effectively. So please do write to me and give me suggestions for improvement, as this is a mutual learning class. Brothers and sisters, as you know that I do not answer any comments or questions which comes on the Facebook website. Okay. So please do write to me on this email, and inshallah I will be more than happy to reply as soon as is possible. So having said that, inshallah we'll start for our chapter now, inshallah. We go back to the class notes. There we go. Excuse me, just brother and sister, just give me 1 minute to clear my throat. Brother and sister, keeping with our tradition, we usually, as our Ustad used to do, take the introduction from Dr. Mohar Ali and our sister Iman Tourist Al Hanif from UK, and look at the summary of the ayah which we're going to analyze today, inshallah. This is Surah Abasa, meaning he frowned. The Makkan Surah consists of 42 ayahs from the Dr. Mohar Ali, a word of the Quran, meaning of the Quran, a word to word meaning of the Quran. He has, alhamdulillah, 3 volumes. A beautiful work, mashallah. So he gave the introduction that is an early Makkan Surah which deals with the theme of Tawheed. This have been saying for the last 2, the Al-Takwir and etc., all the surahs. Okay? Tawheed, monotheism, which I mean, or Rasala, which is the messengership of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the Quran, and the resurrection. All these 3 topics covered in all the last previous 2 surahs also. Okay? This surah starts with the Allah affectionate reproof of his messenger as he frowned at the blind man, Abdullah ibn Maktoum, who approached him for guidance when he was busy in speaking about his mission to a number of leading men of Makkah. This surah is named Abasa, he frowned, with reference to this first ayah of this surah. Okay, Abasa Batawalla. Right? Then Dr. Mohar said the surah then points out, he's describing the summary of the surah, points out that this Quran is noble and exalted. Noble and exalted. Remember in the previous surah, we mentioned the qualities of the Rasul, which is Hazrat Jibreel Islam, the messenger which carried the message to us, and about his call. Okay. But this time is talking about the Quran per se, or the Kalam per se. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that the Quran is noble and exalted. We will look at, mashallah, we will look at, inshallah, the beautiful words Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used, and that it has been delivered by a dutiful, upright angel messenger. We already talked about last time, right? Next, the theme of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the soul, as the soul and the only creator and the Lord, okay, is brought home by drawing attention to his having created man and every being and things, and his having made all the provision for his creatures livelihood and well-being. He has given the provision for that. It also pointed out that he causes them to die and that he will resurrect them when he will. Okay. This surah ends by once again drawing attention to the resurrection, which we saw both previous two surahs, and by pointing out that on that day, the day of judgment, the day of resurrection, a man will be so engrossed with his own affairs that he flee even from his son's wife, parents, and brother. His son, wife, parents, and brother. That day, if you recall in the previous surah, even the wild animal will be getting together, coming from the mountains, assembling together, while the man will be fleeing even from his son, wife, parents, and brother. Okay. This is the introduction by Dr. Mohar Ali. Sister Iman Torres Al Hanif, she gave a little bit more at it, and let's look at it. Um, the meaning, he said the same thing. He found. Abasa means he found, a big word. Ain, ba, sa. Okay. This surah is one of the few places in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cracked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, for a lapse he had unintentionally connected. He has unintentionally committed. For a lapse he has unintentionally corrupted. This very few places, this is the few places in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cracked the our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for a lapse he had unintentionally committed. And that lapse is we know, frown and tawalla and tanween. He said this is the story behind it. So Imam Tourist explained the story about it. The Prophet was busy inviting the leaders of the Quraysh to accept Islam. He was very busy. He knew that if more powerful and influential people become Muslim, this would help to establish Islam in the Makkah. At this time, the rich and the powerful people were persecuting the early Muslims in many ways, making their lives very difficult. So Prophet Muhammad was trying to address to the powerful, influential people in a hope that they will accept Islam, and then the suffering of the Muslim will ease up. So we say early Muslim in many ways making their lives very difficult. So these people making life very difficult, and that was the hope Prophet had. Okay. The beloved Prophet was in the middle of a conversation with the man when a poor blind Muslim named Abdullah bin Maktoum interrupted him to ask about the Quran. Interrupted him to ask about the Quran. Basically, I think we will see, inshallah, in the end. Basically, what he did, he was, because he was blind, so he was, to get the attention, he was little bit shouting and repeating the word, teach me for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught you. Teach me for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught you. So he was very anxious and striving to learn from that thing. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in the midst of the conversation with the influential people of the Makkah. So that's why what happened when he slightly the unintentionally committed a lapse in his judgment. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminding us in the surah. So this is what we're saying. When a Muslim named Abdullah bin Maktoum interrupted him to ask about the Quran. The Prophet did not want to be disturbed at the moment, so he turned his back to him. The other narrations say he did not turn totally back to him. He just shifted slightly because it was not showing a disrespect to the Muslim, poor Muslim, etc., but to point out that he is in the middle of the conversation. So the Prophet did not want to be disturbed at the moment, so he turned his back to him. And the blind man's feeling might have been hurt. Okay? But blind man actually can't see whether he's turned back or not. His only feeling would be that he's not answering, right? None of the men at the Prophet was speaking to accept Islam at that time. Okay. On the other hand, Abdullah bin Maktoum was one of the earliest Muslims and did whatever was within his ability to help in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he was seeking the seeking the guidance from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was very anxious to see. Allah revealed this surah. I think just a minute. There you go. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this surah after this event. And that's why called Abasa. And it is one of the places in the Quran which quoted by the Muslim to unbeliever who claim that the Prophet wrote the Quran himself. If the Prophet wrote it for his own benefit, astaghfirullah, then why would he make himself look less than a perfect in it? Okay. So this is another evidence that it's not. Actually, I will encourage you guys to look at the other tafasir or something like that. And very brief, actually, introduction by Noman Ali Khan. And if you go to Quran Hives and look at the surah and click on the arrow, you will see few minutes introduction of Noman Ali Khan beautifully, and he argued about the word abasa, what this frowning actually means, and it's a very mild word for showing the displeasure actually, and so forth and so forth. This since it's not a tafsir class and so forth, so I'm now going to pick it up from this for Dr. Israr or Dr. Naik or other people looking at it, inshallah. And I will encourage you guys. You can look at it. But the argument that we if this is the word of the Prophet himself, then why Prophet make him look like less than less than perfect in it? So it's the evidence perhaps that it's giving a clear evidence that this is the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now she go forward and say, actually, the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, was not in the habit of favoring the rich and powerful over the poor and handicapped at all. Okay, his turning around did not was that. In fact, that he was a really very close friend of the poor and thing. So much so that so many people of the Makkah at that time, elite, was really upset for him, was not paying attention to him because he's associated with the poor so much, and it is beneath for them to talk to the lower class people. Okay. So Nauzubillah, if I commit a mistake, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may forgive me. This is the interpretation which I learned by the scholars and looking at the meaning of the from the books, inshallah. So they say that on the other hand, he was saying, Sister Iman Tourist was mentioning, actually the prophet was not in the habit of favoring rich and powerful over the poor and handicapped at all. He was a great friend of the poor and lived in a very poor and humble lifestyle himself, always preferring to give to others rather than to keep for himself. But he took special notice of Abdullah, the blind man, after that, and honored him by saying, "Welcome to the man on whose behalf my Lord has corrected me. Welcome to the man on whose behalf my Lord has corrected me." Look at the status Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him, you know. Or for his sake, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has accepted him. And she gives some tafsir for that little bit actually. This may not be the proper time here for that. Now we talk about the other part of the surah, the remaining part of the surah. Their part of the surah, verses 17 to 42, is addressed to the unbeliever, criticizing them for their utter foolishness in failing to recognize the one true God in the face of a numerous signs of nature all around them. In the other part of the surah, verses 17 to 42, is addressed to unbelievers, criticizing them for their utter foolishness in failing to recognize the one true God in face of a numerous signs of nature all around them. It is followed by a graphic, awesome account of the last day when everyone will be so worried about his own fate that he will run from his own mother, father, wife, children, and brother. It's all accepted. So this is basically what this Surah Abasa means. If you look at it, Surah Takwir, I did in the summary in the end. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again talk about the judgment, day of resurrection, and how the wild animal will come from the mountain, and what's going to happen to the sky, what happened to the oceans will set fire, and so forth and so forth. And in this surah, actually, the same, almost same theme is a little bit repeated, and, and it's more descriptive of the day of the resurrection. Inshallah, now we move to the about Bismillah, Auzu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We move to the grammatically and morphological analysis of the ayahs we're going to do, inshallah. Very systematically, inshallah. So, Abasa wa tawalla. Ainjaul ama. Abasa. What is Abasa? Abasa is Ain Basa, which is this came here, Sele Madin. You see, my pen is okay? Yes. I will increase writing become easy. This is Sele Madin. And Madin here is always Mabni for something. Okay. Here is Mabni ala Fatah. Sele Madin, Mabni ala Fatah. Because the last word, Fa, Ain, and Lam Kalma, if you know, as always, Fatah. This is the Ain Kalma, which it changes, okay? With the Kasra Fatah Dam. So it's always Mabni ala Fatah. Okay? And here, this Fele Madin, where is the file here? Okay, you don't see any marfu words afterwards, so file is Mustatirun here. So, file is Damir Mustatirun, and it is Jawazan, is optional. That can come afterward, but here no, it is Jawazan, and Taqdiruhu Huwa. And this Huwa is basically referring to Yahudu Allah as Rasul. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay. And this Jumla now fail a file because we have both. There's a file here and fail here become a Jumla. This Jumla is La Mahala Min Al-I'rab because it is Ibtidai. So Jumla we will write down. Jumla means to complete our notes. Fail plus file together is La Mahalla Laha Min Al-I'rab. It has no I'rab. And it is actually Ibtidai. The form 8, yeah. So this would be, Alif would be Ibtidai. Okay. Watawalla. Wow is two words. Wow is harf ataf. And is mabni ala fatah. Okay. And tawalla is madin. File madin. And it is mabni ala fatah. Where is the fatah? Yes, fatah is actually, it's fatah is al-muqaddar. You have to estimate it. Okay. Al-muqaddar lil ta'zur, because of the pronunciation, the fatah is not written. Excuse me. So we write down al-muqaddar lil ta'zur. I will not go into this harka all the time. Take some time, but actually you can make a copy of that thing. So al muqaddar lil ta'zuri. Okay, difficulty. And who's this? And who's the file? File again the same thing. File is again mustatir and is again referring to Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So we just take it here to save time, so we can cover some more. Yeah, right? So you can see Abasa wa Tawalla, right? And now this Jumla, Tawalla again is fail or file together, correct? It has a fail, it has a file, become a Jumla, right? So is Jumla min fail plus file. Why don't I today make a short form? We say Jumla failure. Okay? Fail or file become failure, right? So just learn. Jumla failure is this Jumla failure is matuf ala Jumla failure sabka, which is abasa. Matuf ala abasa. And since abasa was la mahalla mirara, because it's ladaiya, this become also la mahalla laha mirara. It doesn't have any abasa. Okay. So let's go and see the meaning. Abasa watawalla. What is abasa? Root words are brother and sister. Ain ba sa. And from ba daraba, abasa yahbisu absan or abusan. Absan or abusan. Okay? These are two masdar. Absan basically is a little bit milder than abusan becomes is much stronger frowning. Okay. So abasa wa ubusam, not abusam, ubusam. Okay. Abasa ubusam means to frown, to look sternly. Okay. Here I say, you see, abusun. This is ubusun, which is the masdar, but abusun is ismu fa'il ala sigatul mubalagha. Ismu fa'il ala sigatul mubalagha means frowning, glooming, dismissal, stern. This all called abusun. Okay, and this is intensive form of the absan. Intensive form of the absan is abusun. I beg your pardon, ismu fa'il. Abusun, ismu fa'il. Abusun is the intensive form. Okay, intensive form of the ismu fa'il, which is abusun. So we will write down he frowned. We're not going to go through the literary meaning because if you know, we already learned from there that Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam does not really want to really show uh, displeasure to the Muslim. He was interrupted um, rather rudely in some way because the person asking the question was not only loud, but he was repeating the question. So, but abasa is even though the meaning frown means, but is the lesser form of the displeasure. Other forms are karaha or basat, which is a little bit stronger, much stronger words. So we say right down here, he frowned. He is Prophet. He frowned. But again, one have to look through the thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used the third person. It's not the second person using. It's not mukhatib. It's not the second person using. He did not say, Ya Muhammad or something like that. So he or he did not say, he did not say Abasta. He did not say Abasta, right? But he said Abasa. He frowned. Okay. So he didn't say you frown. So that's the just the very gentle respect of our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay. He frowned. Watawalla. Okay. And what is tawalla? Let's look at the word tawalla. The root words are, brother and sister, wow, lam, ya. and is Bab Hasiba. From Bab Hasiba. Waliya Yale. Vilayatan, Walayatan, Walagan. All three masdar. Yali. Bab Hasiba. Okay. And excuse me, sister, you know Bab Hasaba. You know, Hasaba Yahsibu. Hasaba Yahsibu. Waliya Yali. Okay. Meaning to be near someone or something. To close, to be friend also. Meaning, okay. To be in charge, to manage, to govern, all Waliya. To rule, have a power, all Waliya. Okay, Waliya Yali. Form 5 for this word is Tawalla, which came here. Form 5 for Tawalla is a collective action. Tawalla, Yatawalla. Tawalla, Yatawalla, Tawallin. Tawalla, Yatalla, Tawallin. Okay, means to turn away, to leave, to withdraw, to take upon oneself, to take charge of. They all called Tawalla. But here the meaning came to turn away. So we write down the meaning to turn away. Is my writing is too, the typing is too small? I don't know. I think you can read it nicely if you take a screenshot, inshallah. I will. I think next time I will try to increase the font for this. But I want to keep all the morphology in one page. Therefore, it needs some sort of adjustment, inshallah. Watawalla, I will write down. Watawalla, it turned away, or he turned away, right? Okay, he frowned, Prophet frowned, and he turned away. Now, the the Dr. Yakut has explained something for that about the Abad. So I think let me look through my notes, and I think the notes should be here. And let's look through. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm going to bring it so you guys can copy it. So I will copy from here. I did try to write some harakat and some translation for you to copy. It may not be, as I said previously, it may not be exact translation, which should be very close to whatever been said here. Okay, so we put down here. Then I would delete. Okay, oops. So we go slow down. I'll increase it so you can read it, and then I will decrease it. Okay. So he was saying, Dr. Yaqub is mentioning, وفاعل معطوف على abasa, which is tawalla, لا محالة من الإعراب. Okay. See, وقد جاء فاعل بضمير الغائب إجلال إجلالا للرسول ولطفا به. What is لطفا? Gentleness, civility. Okay. لأن في مشافيها verbal or oral or respect بتاع الخطاب بتاع الخطاب ما لا يحصل means the because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he was saying with the kaja fele with amir, he was saying he was saying that the wakaja fala, and the file came in a darib al ghaib, which is the third person ajlan rasulu, as a kindness to rasul, as kindness to him, because there is something in his speaking, la inno fi mushabata, something in his speaking directly with the letter ta of address that is not hidden. So mean that if he have used the word, for example, if you could use the word, let me write down, if you can do it, you see, Asabta, this ta is you. It is second person. Mukhatib. Okay. So we're saying the ta is not used as a respect, as a kindness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not use the word abasta, but he used the word, it used the third person one, which is much more gentler and kind. Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very kind. Okay. So you guys can take a copy. This is what Dr. Suleiman Yaqut has explained. Okay. Dr. Yaqut. Okay. And let's look at the what was the authentic translation for our scholars. Okay, Princess, as you know that I have Alhamdulillah, I did all this thing work for you guys and make it so that it become easy, um, becomes easy for you to study. And I made the vocabulary and brought the vocabulary into the forms. For example, I'll show you something. Let's see, translation, there is a vocabulary. You see, brother and sister, this is all this, brothers, all this vocabulary, Surah Abasa was typed and then were taken, all of them were taken individually from the pages and then pasted on your page, on your page here. So the thing become very easy. You don't have to look anywhere else. You can look on the same page of the ayah. So you can really compare very quickly. It become much easier for you guys to study. Alhamdulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our efforts to learn his message. So the list, I think we need a translation. Translation for the ayah number 1 is right here. I will just copy it so we don't have to type and spend some time. We go back here. Paste. So, as you know, those of you who join us new, we usually have a translation from 3 scholars. And this was chosen basically when I was taught one time, so I continue this tradition. Usually, I sometimes I look more than one, more than 3. Sometimes I look 10 translation, and it's not very easy to understand them. And I think one of the very good source for that is Quran.com. If you go to Quran.com, you can Alhamdulillah put the ayah and you can choose the 10 translation to be shown at the same time. It's a very good resource to have it while you're studying. Okay. Having said that, now Dr. Mustafa Khatam from Clear Quran, Dr. Mohar Ali, as we did his introduction, and Sister Iman Torres, which we look at the introduction in the beginning. So these are the people I took 3. Those of you who joining new in this class. Okay. So here, Dr. Mustafa Khatab in a Clear Quran said, he frowned and turned his attention away. You know, it's not that something because I didn't like the thing when he turned itself, but no, he turned his attention away as a respect. It's not very disrespectful for the poor Muslim guys that he turned his back towards them actually. Then that's why I think Dr. Mustafa Khatab had the translation, his attention away. Okay. Dr. Mohar Ali, he frowned and turned away. Means, you know, a little bit on the side. Dr. Sister Iman Torres, he, the Prophet, frowned and turned away. So that he frowned and then he turned away. So Alhamdulillah, we did very similar translation. Okay. Next ayah, inshallah, an ja'ahu ul ama. Ja'ahu ama. Here, brothers and sisters, an is harfe masdari wa nasbin. Harfo masdari wa nasbin. So we write down here an harfo masdari wa nasbin. Okay. And it is mabni ala sukun. Okay. We don't hold the sukun. just a minute. Sorry, I think I lost my ribbon now. Just give me 1 minute, sister. I don't know why I lost my ribbon. Yeah, we came back. Alhamdulillah, we're back. Brothers and sisters, sometimes I have a bout of cough, so I have to pause it for a few minutes. Okay. So it is an, which is mabni ala sukoon. The sukoon is not here because word jim came after that, and this is basically in tajweed rule, as you know, most of you know, is ikhfa. Okay. Most of you know is ikhfa. So you have to do for gunna here. Okay. Ain ja. So ja, what is ja? Again, this is two words. One line is fi'l madin, and is mabni ala fatah. Okay, fi'l madin, mabni ala fatah. And then the ha here is damir muttasil. Damir muttasilun, and it is mabni ala sukoon. You can see the sukoon on the ha, right? And here is fi mahalli nasbin, because it is a maf'ul bihi of the verb ja. Maf'ul bihi. Okay, correct? So fi'l madi damir muttasil mabni ala thing fi mahalli nasbin maf'ul bihi. And because brother and sister un came in, right? Harf masdari, followed by the fail, it become masdar muawwal, right? Fi tawil masdar is become masdar muawwal. So what we do to explain that thing, we just draw the line here. Okay, this should be red line. Beg your pardon. So we write down here un plus fail masdari plus fail, which is ja, right? Is become fi tawil masdar. We call it masdar al muawwal. And this al masdar al muawwal is actually here is in the state of jar. Why? Because the ba in front of this masdar is muqaddar. You have to estimate it, okay? Because the masdar itself cannot come directly like that in this sentence, and I'll explain inshallah. Masdar muawwal. So we say fi mahalli jarrin bil lamul muqaddar. Muqaddara. And what would be takbir? Obviously, I. Example, it should be billam. So what is the masdar of ja? Okay, let's go back, and I think we'll come back here. Masdar of ja is mujiyun. Mujiyan. Masdar of ja is mujiyun, right? Mujiyun. We'll come back. So you cannot write here like I. You cannot write You cannot write simply mujuyun. Mujuyun alamra, you have to li mujuyun. Otherwise will not be sure. Abasa batawalla li mujuyun alama. Okay. So master would be li. It's a harf jar. That's why it's majroor. Fi mahalli jarrin. Master muawwal fi mahalli jarrin, because of the lam, and lam we have to estimate it. So mujiyun. Mujiyan from the lam, right? Bijum alama. Okay. And now, because this is brother and sister, this beautiful. See how beautiful thing is. We have two words here, right? We have let me do this thing. No, this one we do thing. Maybe let me do green. This may not be good either. So let's keep it that. Islam and this two. Okay. These two will become Jaro Majroor. Now this becomes Jaro Majroor and they are Mutalik. Remember, Jaro Majroor is always Mutalik something. Is Mutalik with Abasa wa Tawalla. Abasa wa Tawalla. Okay. There's some Mutalik Jaro. Now it's become alien. Okay. So you can see Ainjau ul Ama. Or you can see with Tawalla Limajiyun al Ama. Right? So this is Tabile method. Okay? When we do the translation, it may become a little bit better. Okay. What is Allah? Now we have, brothers and sisters here, we have a fail and we have a maful bay. And immediately after that, you can see the marfu noun coming, which becomes is file. File for ja'a is al ama. So we say file it marfuun filun marfuun and alamat rafa is al dammatul muqaddara. And it's also lil task. Okay. Now, since Mr. Mobile came, un came, right? So now this jumla now becomes sillatul mawsul. Okay. Is Masdar Mawwal came, the jumla after that becomes sillatul mawsul. Okay. So what would be the sillatul mawsul would be Jaul Ama. Okay. Which is now we can write down after an because an was harf masdari, right? So harf masdari, so this becomes sillatul mawsul. Okay. Which we write down jumla. Increase it. Min fail plus file is la mahalla laha min al arab, and this is his sillatul mawsul for one for an. What is an? An is harf, so we call al harfi to distinguish from ismi. When the isma mawsul came, okay, allazi came becomes sillatul mawsul al ismi. When an came with a masdar, sillatul mawsul al harfi. Okay? And because of an. Okay. So these are the Alhamdulillah, we finished the era for that. Let's look at the meaning. An is here at the masdari because. Simple one, because. Because ja. Look at ja. Now the time we will look at the masdar also. From bab dareba. From bab dareba. Ja. Root words are jim, ya, and hamza. This, this ya becomes this alif. Okay. Alif maksud. Alif madla. Ja. Okay. Jaa yajiu. Yajiu. What is it? Yajiu and masdar is majian, majian, and that's the masdar we use here. Here, maji, la majian. Okay, li majian. Okay, this is the masdar. Okay, majian, because of the lam was there, harf jar become majian. Okay, so this is intransit verb means to come, to arrive, to come, to arrive. To with by become to be. Okay, transitive verb to come to. So this is actually I should not do that here because mafuli bha'i came with that. So my mistake, brothers and sisters. It should be. Let me see what I'm doing here. It should be this. No, this. It should be to come to. This is the meaning. Okay. This is the meaning of ja, which came to me. It's a transitive because it has a mafuli bha'i. Okay. It means transitive verb. Ja means to become, to come to. With ba, to bring something to someone, to bring something to someone, okay? Or jia would be majhul form of that to mean to be brought, okay? But here came come to come to, okay? And jaa came to who? Him. Who? So came to him. Okay? Came to him. Who came to him? Al-A'ma. What is Al-A'ma? I have for you guys. The root word for that is ayin, mim, ya. Ayin, mim, ya. Bab samiya. Aima, yama. Amman. Aima, yama. Amman. To be or become blind. To be or become blind. Form 4 is ama, yu'mi, ima'an. To cause to be blind. Okay. But here's ama, which came as a noun, is plural is ummiyun or umyanu. Both means blind person. So you put al in front of it to become a blind. Okay. The, the blind man. So the, there came to him the blind man. Okay. Let's look at the authentic translation. Number 2. To this, so we replace it to make it a size equivalent to the old one. There we go. Close to. Okay. Dr. Dr. Mustafa Khatam said, Dr. Mustafa Khatam in Clear Quran, he did on literally the Tafsir translation as simply because here is the hidden here. Because the blind man came to him interrupting. The blind man came to him interrupting in bracket. Came to him interrupting. I think I forgot to write there because that's what the meanings are. So I will do this, raise it up because some of you guys taking a note. Enter. I think it should be double R. Okay. A blind man came to him, interrupting. Dr. Mohar Ali, that there came to him, that, and is that. Remember, we said, I mentioned before, there are two scholars. In my knowledge, my limited knowledge, there are two scholars which I follow, around 10 scholars. Among them, Dr. Mohar Ali and Asadullah. These are the two people who does the almost a literary translation, the translation of the word which came in the Quran, English word very close to the what is used in Arabic language, the closest possible. Okay, these two people use it, and that's why Dr. Mohar Ali said, "An with that, Ja, there came to him, Al Ama, the blind person." Just the literary translation. Okay. But I think Dr. Mustafa Khatam, Iman Toris, and other people do tafsiri translation. Who say when the blind man came to him, interrupted. So this is the joining the two. Abasa wa tawalla ainjao al Uma. He frowned and he turned away. That when the blind man came to him, interrupted. Right? When the blind. And this is the reason why we said here, Abasa wa tawalla li majiun al ama. Abasa tawalla li majiun. Okay. I hope it's very clear. So I'm going to give you a screenshot here first. We are with it for a couple of minutes. And I will enlarge this so you can take this Dr. Yakut sentence. And there is the now you have the vocabulary. Maybe I should increase this thing. It cannot be. I think next time I will try to increase the font size, inshallah. There we go. Okay. Alhamdulillah. We move to the next ayah. وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّهُ يَزَكَّى يَزَكَّى لَعَلَّهُ يَزَكَّى. Actually, it should be يَتَزَكَّى. Anyway, so we will look through inshallah. وَمَا let's do the as usual, do the grammatical Arab, and inshallah then we do the translation. Wow is ataf, the two words, sister, wow and ma. Wow is harfu ataf, mabni ala fatah, and ma here is ismu istifham. Ismu istifham. Okay, and this is here the ma is sorry is mabni ala sukun, and actually it came as a mubtada. So is fi mahalli zafin came here mubtada. Why, brothers and sisters? Because jumla ismiya. There's no, it's not the fail which is starting the sentence. Wama yudrika. It's starting with the ism. So it's jumla ismiya. And therefore jumla ismiya, the marfu noun is basically the mubtada. Okay? And it's a stated marfu. We know, very fundamental. Alvapuri. Yudrika. Dara yadri. You can see the dhamma on top of them, it a salasi mazid. Okay? So it has, I think, is a form, inshallah. So we will look through it right now. We just know that is the madariye, and most likely madariye marfu, madariye mazid. So madariyu marfuun and alamat rafa is what? Is Dammatul Muqaddara lil Sakal. Dammatul Muqaddara lil Sakal. In a difficulty in the pronunciation because the kasra is here. Okay? You can't say Yudriya. It's very, very difficult. Damma al Muqaddar Yudriyu. So that's why I say al Damma al Muqaddar. First I wrote Damma. Dammatu al Muqaddar. And let's Sakli. It's sickly. Pardon me. I beg your pardon. Okay? So this is the thing. And now, sorry, I forgot to mention there are two words here, right? This and the two. The three and ka. So where is the file? File is again Damire Mustatir. Okay? Jawazan Takbirahu Hua. So we go here, comma, file. Is actually Damir Mustatirun. And Jawazan Takbirahu Hua. Okay? And now what is ka? Brothers and sisters, now two lines. Ka is Damiro Muttasilun. Damiro Muttasilun. Let me just make it here. Oh, that's the problem. Not increasing and writing. Mutta Metasulun Mabni al Fata, and it should be fi mahalli nasbin because it came as a mafule bahi. Brothers and sisters, just let me remind you for some time. We did study our study. I don't remember. I think previous ayahs, a few ayahs where the word Yudra came, you know, Dara Nadri came. And we mentioned at the time when it's a form 4. This form 4 has its take usually two mafuli bahi. Its third take a two mafuli bahi. And when we do the translation, I will explain you a little bit again. So actually here is just bear with me. I will write down mafuli bahi number 1 for the time being, okay? And then I will explain what it basically means. And this jumla, by the way, now this jumla, which is fail of file, because remember, brothers and sisters, that we have here mubtada came. Okay, so where is khabar? Okay? It looks like this jumla, which is coming, jumla, jim, min, fail, plus file, fi mehalli, rafin, because it's this jumla, failure now, become a khabro ma. Okay. Become khabru ma because ma is the mubtada. What is khabar? Jumla failure. Jumla failure is khabar. Okay. And this jumla, this total jumla, meaning mubtada wa khabar wa ma yudrika. Maybe it's better if I can draw the line here. I think if I draw the line like this jumla ma. Okay. Now we can write down jumla min mubtada, which is ma, plus khabar, which is yudrik, is matuf ala because the wow there, harf came, is jumla previous jumla, which is tawalla. is matuf with the previous jumla. And of course, this is la mahalla min al-i'rab because tawalla, that was la mahalla min al-i'rab. Abasa wa tawalla, la mahalla min al-i'rab because the jumla is istawaiya. So it is matuf ala tawalla. Abasa wa tawalla, and then because that the this is the same tawalla anjal huma. Now say wa ma yudrika la'allahu yazakka yazakka yazakka. Okay, so we go. What is la'allahu? Has two words, brother and sister. La'alla and who. And this is harfu saghira. There is two counts you have to decrease because ya came after that. Ya below. Okay. La'alla, excuse me. La'alla is harfu taraji. Harfu taraji wa nasbin. And it is mabni ala fatah. Okay. Because it is akhwato kana. No, I beg your pardon. It is akhwato inna. Okay, it's akhwato inna. La'alla is akhwato inna. What I'm saying. La hawla wala quwwata illa billah. Wa huwa akhwatu. I will write down. So sometimes slip of the tongue. Inna. Why? Because, brother and sister, ismo inna is always mansubun. Ismo kana is marfuun. Ismo inna is always mansubun. Okay. And la'alla ism should be mansub. So what is the ism la'alla? You can see now who there. Right here, another ism joined with it. Okay. This ism is ismo la'alla. And what is this thing? What is two lines? Okay. We do two lines. So to distinguish it. And this who is damire muttasil. Mabni ala damma. मुत्तसिल मबनी अला दम्मा फी महल्ली नस्बिन and it becomes ismo la'alla. Ismo la'alla is always mansubun. Okay. Next word is jazakka. We will look at the morphology afterwards. Right now we just do the i'rab for that. And I will explain what is jazakka. Just give me a minute for a cup of sip of water, please. My apology, brother and sister. After my COVID for 3 months before, I have not totally recovered my cough. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us shafa, inshallah. Okay? So please forgive me for my coughing and clearing the throat and so forth. Okay. This is Modaria Marfoon. The Zakka is Modaria. First of all, it's only one word. Okay. Marfoon. And alamat is Rafa is Dammatul al-Muqaddara lil-Sakal. Al-Muqaddara lil-Sakal. I think rather maybe spending time, I think I should just delete that thing and take from here. Both are the same, right? So it will be easy and file it. So I take this whole section, I'll take it. copy. We save some time. Okay, so this is Madariya Marfuin and Alamat Rafa is Dammatul Muqaddara Lil Sakli because it is difficult for the pronunciation. It's heavy. The Dhamma on the Ya is heavy. So, and his file is Hua. Damire Mustatirun Jawazin Tadbiruhu Hua. So usually I write down Hua here. So similarly, Hua should be here also in bracket, right? La'allahu yazakka. So, but now we have, brothers and sisters, who here is Ismu Allah. There is the Khabru Allah, the entire this Jumla. The Jumla, which is Jumla Filia, or Jumla means fi'lu file. Jumla means fail plus file. Zakka is fail and file is huwa, which is mustatir. Is fi mahalli is become a rough one because khabar ila Allah is always marfu. Khabar la. Okay. So this complete the Arab of this ayah. Wama yudrika la'allahu yazakka. My wow is happy. Ataf. My is istifam. Fi mahalli rafil mubtada. Yudrika is fail of file. Ka is mufuli bahi. And the whole jumla is yudrika. Whole jumla fail of file. Fi mahalli rafil khabre mahu. Khabre mubtada. Okay. لعله اسم لعل حرف ترجي هو اسمه الله يتزكى is مدارية مرفوع and with the fail and file is خبر لعل. So these are simplified the Arabs of the sentence. Very easy, alhamdulillah. Al-Wapuri. Now look at the translation. And ma. We go here. Wow is and. The wrong color. Sorry about that. And or but. Either one. Ma is what? Ismu istifham. What? Ma ismuka. What is your name? So Yudrika. What is Yudri? Let's go back to Yudri. The root words are da, ra, ya. Okay, from Bab Daraba, Dara, Yadri, Dirayatan. Dara, Yadri, Dirayatan. Means to know or to be away. Both meaning. To know or to be away. Form 4 is Adra. Adra, Yudri, Idragan. Adra, Yudri, Idragan. To make someone know something. So this is Mufuli Bahi 1 or Mufuli Bahi number 2. Someone knows something or someone knows someone. Or is something someone. Okay. So it's at least 2 Mufuli Bahi. Okay. So we go. So that's why we call Mafuli Bahi number 1. Now, where is the Mafuli Bahi number 2? Is the Jumla La Allah. Okay? We forgot to write that. That's why you say, well, I'm going to go back to the first vocabulary and then we figure out because Adra, this is basically form 4. Form 4. It requires 2 Mafuli Bahi. 1 Mafuli Bahi is this car. And second maf'ul bihi is this whole sentence. This, there. Beg pardon, I will draw the straight line. Okay. It's always become different because Arabic language writing is goes differently. So anyway, so this is we go okay. I make a panel like that. So this jumla min la'alla wa ismuha wa khabruha is fi mahalli nasbin because it's a mufuli. Mufuli bhi is always nasb. Fi mahalli nasbin and it would be mufule bahi sanin or number two of who is adra or yudra. Okay, yeah, yudra. So now we have satisfied mufule by one, mufule by two. Okay, mubtada and this is khabar. Ismullah Allah, khabrullah Allah. And yudrika mufule by ka is mufule by one. And la'allahu yatazakka is maf'ul bihi number two. Maf'ul bihi number one and maf'ul bihi number two. Alhamdulillah. So, what is the meaning of yudra? Okay. To make someone know something. To make someone know something, the write down would make you know what is coming. Would or will make you know. Brother and sister, I'm going to draw the line. This you is this. And know, I will write down what, and this what is this? Maf'ul bihi number two. Okay, so I'm going to delete this just for the explanation purpose right now. Would make you know what la'allahu yatazakka. La'alla is harf taraji. I don't think I have it. I think we did several times, so I didn't even bother. So la'alla is harf taraji that he might. Here harf taraji. Usually la'alla is both harf taraji wa ishqaq. Okay, the taraji is hope and fear, but here is only hope, not fear. Okay, that's why he said a hope or fear. Okay, harf taraji. So that he might or hope yazzakka. What is yazzakka? We have to spend a couple of minutes in here. I will explain everything, inshallah. Just be patient with me. Okay. Number. The root word for zakka is, I think you came several times. I think it's worth spending a little bit time on that. Okay. Root words are za, kaf, and waw. Za, kaf, or waw. Okay. From bab nasra, zaka, yazku, zakaan, or zukuwan. Zukuwan. Okay. Means to be increased. Zaka means to be increased, augmented, to receive increase and blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To thrive by the blessings from God. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our brother Zahid Naeem. So Alhamdulillah, I took the vocabulary from him, mashallah, and he did assemble, mashallah, very nicely, meaning for that. Okay, thrive by the blessing from God. To be pure in the heart, to be righteous, to be pure in the heart, to be righteous all, Zaka. Form 2, Zakka. Yuzakki tazkiyatan. To increase something, to purify, to cause to grow in purity. Zakka, to cause to grow in purity is zakka. Its form 5 is, brother and sister, tazakka. Okay? So it's actually tazakka, yatazakka. Tazakka, yatazakka, tazakil. Okay? Let me tell you how it made, but first look at the meaning. To seek purity is tazakka. To seek purity is tazakka. To endeavor, to attain piety is tazakka. Okay? So what I'm saying in the Madariya form, what was happening, Madariya form, if you look at the Asluha, is like this. This is the Asal one. Ya ta zakka. Okay. So this ta here, let me write down here. Ya, I'm just increasing it, okay? So that ya ta zakka. Okay. So what you were saying here is kulbat kulbat tau zaya. This taya getting mud with the za. Okay. So it changed. Kulbat means to change. Okay. It changed. The ta get changed to za. So the ta came to za, then there is a shadda came. Okay. Ta came to za. Wa adgamat fil zai. It 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 turned kulbat. It turned and become assimilated into the za. So therefore it become ये become two za, okay, and then ka. Okay, so this one actually the asaluha is yatazakka and become ka. So this in Arabic we say kulbatau zaya zayan adghamat fi zai and assimilated into the za. Okay, the ta turned into za and assimilated into with the zai. Okay, that's what he says, and this is what is written in the English here. In the Mudariya form, the ta may assimilate into the za, resulting into yazaka. Okay, so this is basically what it is. Okay, right? But it's a form 4, and that means to purify himself. Okay, to seek purity, to attain purity, so that he might will down to attain purity. Achieve purity or attain purity or attain piety. Attain piety. Okay. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala basically mentioned from the previous ayah, he frowned and turned away because a blind man came to him, interrupted. And then he said, what would make you know or realize that this guy who's interrupting you, he may have a hope to attain piety from you? To learning from piety from your message. Okay. So this is what basically it means here. Let's go to the authentic translation, inshallah. So we go back to the translations, and this is ayah number 3. Copy, paste. Okay. Dr. Mustafa Khatam is saying, you never know, O Prophet, what would make you know, Prophet, okay? You never know, O Prophet, in the bracket, perhaps he may be purified. Perhaps he may attain purify. He may be purified. He is seeking the purity of piety. Okay. And that's why he's interrupting and asking the question. He's striving for that. Now, our Dr. Muhar Ali, and what make you realize, what make you know that perhaps he will purify himself, that he will purify, struggling to, he will purify himself. He will purify himself. Okay. The Iman to Sister Torres, and how would you know? Maybe he would grow in purity. Maybe he will attain in purity and he will grow in purity. It's a different tafsiri translation, the free translation, but if you look at the actual word translation, Dr. Mohar Ali, and what makes you realize, Adara Yudri is make you realize. What makes you realize that perhaps he might, perhaps la Allah, perhaps perhaps he will purify himself. I think himself will be in bracket. Okay, he will purify himself. So this is the Alhamdulillah meaning of this ayah. So I'll give you a couple of minutes for the screenshot. I will increase it so you can see my writing. There we go. Okay, here we go. Now the vocabulary for that. This is just in the bottom some additional note. We know about zakat, zakah. It came from the same root word. Okay, prescribe alms, one of the five pillars of Islam, a specified portion of one portion given annually, as obligated by the God to purify one's wealth and oneself, piety or purity. Okay, to purify oneself, and that's why we say to purify himself and attain purity or piety himself. Okay, okay. So inshallah, we will move on to the next ayah. I will take a 1 minute break for my talk, inshallah, and then we will move forward to the next ayah, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, back. So, ow. I think we have a 15 minute brother and sister. I think we should be able to, inshallah, finish it. At least this ayah. Okay. Is ow is harf I may have to move a bit faster. Harf mabni ala sukun. Right? Yazakru. Again from 5 years. What came? Yazakru is the Madariya. We will look at it, inshallah, what form it is. Where here is Madariyon. Marfuun. And Alamati Rafa is Dammatul Zahira. Right? And his file is Mustatirun. Zamire Mustatirun. Jawazun Takdiruhu Hua. Write down Hua. Okay. And there's Jumla Filia. Or Jumla min fi'l file. I will write down Jumla Filia here. Easy. Jumla fi'liya is it is actually matu fi'la with aho, matu fi'la जुमला यतज़क्का और यज़क्का. Oh, the pen slipped. यतज़क्का. And it is fi mahalli rafin. Okay. Now, next आ गया fa. Next we come to fa tanfa'u. Fa au या zakkaru fa tanfa'u huz zikra. Huz zikra. Huz zikra. Fa is a, brothers and sisters, three words here. Okay. There are three words: fa, tanfa'a, and hu. Okay. Now this fa is very special fa. I think we have explained this fa before, but I'm going to do a little bit. Okay. This fa is fa'u lil sababiyya. Sabab, sababiyya. 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 Okay. Sababiyya. Okay. And it is actually har, and it is mabni ala fatha. Number two, tanfa. Tanfa is madariyan. Now, brother and sister, the condition for la fa sababiyya is that with it is immediately after fa, that means the an is mutbara. An is hidden. Okay. So an, which is masdari, is hidden. An is mutbara right here. Okay. An tanfa. Okay. So because of the an now, tanfa is madariya mansubun. And that's why we know mansubun, and the an regarded mudmara. An mudmara thi, and it is, we write down, it is jawazan, badu, alfa. Okay, and it is nasba is fatah. Alamat nasba is fatah. This is how you figured out what is this, that there is a an mudmara. Okay, because the madariya is mansub. Okay. Correct? And now what is ha? Sorry, I have to rush, brothers and sisters, so I hope you understand. Otherwise, I'll explain again, okay? So, damire muttasilun, mabni ala sukun, oh, by pardon, damma, fi mahalli, it is nasbin because it came here as mafule wahi. Okay? Now we have a fa, we have a madariya, and then we have a mafule bahi, but we don't have a file, so we're going to look for the file, okay? So we're going to look for the file. So brothers and sisters, and this, by the way, this mafule bahi is actually muqaddam. The mafule bahi of is I will explain inshallah. Okay? Let's look through the four here. Now because brother and sister an came. Now because the an came, so this becomes an plus fail An plus fail is Masdar Muawwal. Brothers and sisters, you don't have this thing in Yaqut, okay? I'm just beforehand, I'm mentioning it. I think Yaqut either is a typo or or he believed that may not be important here. And but I think since the un came, the un and the fail came, so it always becomes fi tawil Masdar Muhammad, okay? And Masdar Muhammad. And what is the Taqdeer of Muhammad? This is, by the way, described by Dr. Fakhruddin Kubal and the others, okay? But I think notably is Dr. Fakhruddin Kubal. And he write down to, I will copy that thing afterwards. So he will write down, actually should be Yatazakkaru فَنَفَعُ الذِّكْرَ لَهُ فَنَفَعُ الذِّكْرَ. So he made the madariye, which is tanfahu, so he made it nafahu. Okay, he made the masdar. He made the masdar of the nafa. Okay, made the masdar of the nafa. So I think maybe I should bring it right here. Okay, just give me a minute. I will go back to my notes. I did have in my notes actually. There are a lot of other areas that I'm not completely covering you because then it becomes a little bit too much, and I think maybe that much detail may not be important, but I think we have to cover all the every type of student inshallah our class. So that's why I go through the effort of looking through the all the Arab books and try to assemble the notes as complete as possible. Okay. So this is what Dr. Fakhruddin Kubaba said about that thing. Okay. He said, والتقدير is تقدير لعله العمى يكون منه تذكر أو تذكر فنفعه الذكر له. Meaning, I think we will do the meaning maybe afterwards because we have not done the vocabulary. So inshallah we'll come back to that. Okay. So but this is the takdir here, right here the takdir of Masdar Muhammad. Okay, that I will point out. Okay, when we do the translation, inshallah, it become better. Okay. Al zikra here is, you can see the noun, the marfu noun. So it comes to file of the previous ayah. This becomes file and it is marfu. And alamat rafa is dammatul muqaddara lil kazuri. Okay, I'm not going to write that. Okay, dammatul muqaddara. Okay, because we are short of time. So, but this jumla na, because brothers and sisters, an came, Masdar Mawwal came, so it has to be an came, so it has to have a sila, right? Since an is a harf, it should be sillatul mawsul harfi, right? So we write down here jumla. Mean, mashallah, it's so easy, mashallah. Fail plus file. Fail is tanfa, file is zikra, mafule bihi is who, right? So this fail of file is la mahalla laha min al arab, because sillatul mawsul doesn't have arab. So we write down here sillatul mawsul and we write down al harfi because it is because of the al. Okay, correct. Now let's look at the vocabulary and then inshallah we'll find out with the taqdeeru of the Masdar Muhammad. We have a couple of minutes inshallah. We'll quickly go through. So aw is or, increase it. Yazakru. What is yazakru? The root words are, brothers and sisters, za, kafra, zakara, yaskuru, zikran, zakaran, bab, nasra. To preserve something in one's memory is zakara. To preserve something in one's memory is zakara. To remember, to bear in mind, to recall, to recollect, to mention is all zakara. Okay. Form 2 is zakara. Yuzakkiru tazkiran. To remind, to admonish is zakara. Form 5 is the same thing. Zakka is the same thing. Tazakkara ya tazakkaru tazakku, tazakkuran. Tazakkuran. Okay. Which is masdar. Okay. To remember, to ponder, to contemplate, to take heed. Again, in fail madariya, the ta may assimilate in desire, resulting in zakka. The same thing, brother and sister. I will give you a copy. You know what you're saying. The ta is I think it should not be ta here. Yeah. The ta becomes za, and za, the ta is converted to za, and za is assimilated now with the za. Okay, become the um, shadda. So za become a shadda. The same thing. And there are other words here. Zikrun, verbal noun. Mazakkurun is file. Zikra. Zikra is, brother or sister, is the um, is uh, the mubalgha. Okay, just remember that in a shiga mubalgha. You know, this is the same thing. Zakrun, but shiga mubalgha is file. The shiga mubalgha becomes zakarun. It's an intense. It's a strong word. Okay, for the for that. So so basically, this is a reminder. This is a reminder. This become a strong reminder. This become a powerful reminder. Okay, zakra is very powerful reminder. I'm just writing this now because it came in the Quran. So okay, tazkiratun, you all already know. Taz tazkiratun is a reminder. Okay. So anyway, so we go back to Zakara, be reminded, or Tanfa'u. What is tanfa? Nafa. I think where is go? Oh yeah, there we go. Nafa, yanfa'u, naf'an. Nafa, yanfa'u, naf'an. And to be useful from Bab Fatah, to be useful, to be beneficial, to profit. To be useful, to beneficial, profit. Manafeun, kurwa all, man fa'atun. Okay, to benefit, interest, uses, utilities is manafeun. Okay, so here we go. The translation really. So would benefit him. So on. Okay, so that benefit him. Or would benefit who? Him. Benefit him. What is zikra? Oh, there we go. I think it is here. When I say zikra, it is the same zikra. It's a powerful reminder. Okay, powerful reminder. Okay. So now let's go here. Let's look at the Masdar Muawwal now. So tanfa'u, an tanfa, an tanfa'a become Masdar Muawwal for nafa'u zikra lahu. So Dr. Fakhruddin Kababa explaining it that here basically this this the Master Mawal came basically in the meaning of la Allah. La Allah Lama, that's what we said, the would benefit him. Okay. La Allah Ama yakunu minhu tazakki or tazakkurun. فَنَفَعُ ذِكْرَ لَهُ. Okay. The meaning is that perhaps the blind man will be purified or remember, so their remembrance will benefit. So the remembrance will benefit him. So I think there's a typo here. Just ignore it. So the remembrance will benefit him. Okay. So this is the Masdar Muawwal. He is mentioning Dr. Yaqut, Dr. Fakhruddin Kubaba, that you can replace an plus fail is Masdar Muawwal. Fi tahwil Masdar would be fanafahu zukra lahu. Okay. So the meaning is, so we go back to the meaning here and the Fama Yudrika La'allahu Yatazakka La'allah. So and how would you know? And that perhaps that he may be purified, he may attain purity. Au zikra fanastahu zikra, and they were saying, and be reminded, then the reminder may help him. The powerful reminder may benefit him. Okay. Let's look at the translation, authentic translation from our scholars, and then we'll inshallah conclude our class. So this is uh, ayah number 4, I think. Copy. There we go. Dr. Mustafa Khatam was saying, Dr. Mustafa Khatam in clear Quran, or he may be mindful, benefiting from the muzakkar. Pantafahu zikra lahu, benefiting from the, it's a mazdar mu'mal, okay? The Dr. Mohar Ali, or that is zakru, take heed, there will benefit him the admonition. Zukra is powerful reminder is admonition. Okay, that the admonition may benefit him. Okay. Iman Torres, or be reminded, and the reminder would help him. Nafaul, and reminder will help him. Okay. So Alhamdulillah, this is the translation we learn. So let me give you a screenshot quickly. This one. Then I may increase this thing so you can have this thing from Dr. Fakhruddin Kubaba. You can put the harakat on that. And this is the vocabulary. Half page here first. And then you can nafa. So Alhamdulillah. So very quickly, today Surah Abasa wa Tawalla. And he frowned and turned away his attention away on Jalama. And simply because the blind man came to him, interrupting. Mama yudrika la'allahu yatazakka, and you will never know, O Prophet, O Muhammad, that perhaps he may be seeking purity or attain piety, and that the reminder should benefit, or the reminder should help him or benefit him, or he will be benefit him the admonition. Okay. So this reminder is Alhamdulillah the Quran here mentioned. Jazakumullahu khairun, inshallah. We quickly offer dua and then move on to, inshallah, we will end our meeting. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your devotion of time to study and understand Quranic Arabic grammar as a good deed in a scale of hasanat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all and our spouses, our children with the excellent health. He blesses all in our jobs, in our businesses, in our career, in our profession, and the education of our children. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us strong memory and deep knowledge of Arabic and understanding and the depth of the message of the Quran. It is very key, brothers and sisters. So they all will feel miracle of the Quran in our heart. Okay? May Allah enlighten our homes, our family with the light of the Quran and instill this light in our hearts of our children. Allahumma itmim lana nuran واغفر لنا انك على كل شيء قدير. Ya Rabbul Alameen, have a special mercy on the people of Palestine and Gaza. Ya Muqallib al-Qulubi, Thabbit Qulubina ala dinika. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahma innaka antal wahhab. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. See you next time inshallah. جزاكم الله خير.